final test we ran was a wear test. So we did 2 oil oxidation tests, and then we did a wear test. So wear is very important, right? You have your valve trains, you have your piston rings and liners. You're very concerned about protection there. And so we said, let's take a look at the formulation and see which has got better. So one of the tests you can run, this is run by the additive companies, and what it is, so this is like Oronite, Lubrizol, Infineum, the 3 major additive companies for engine oils. What they do is they can take up to 4% soot. They put it into the oil. Okay, so soot is basically from the combustion process of, from your diesel engine, right? You got fuel sulfur in the diesel fuel. You combust it, creates some soot, that goes into the oil. So what they do is they overload it with 4% soot. That's a lot of soot in the oil. Then they cook the oil to 195 degrees C. So they oxidize the oil. And then what they do is they run it through a steel ball and a metal plate. And what they do then is run that at a very high speed. And then what they do is they measure what kind of wear you have. Okay? So what it does is directionally gives you an idea how well does the oil disperse soot, and in dispersing the soot, does it provide appropriate wear protection on those metal components. So the idea is to try to give you directionally an idea of how your valve train wear is going to be and how that piston liner interface, ring interface is going to be, and how is it going to be protected. And you can see in this particular case, and again, these test results are run multiple times, so it's not just a one-time thing. We run them at least 2 or 3 times to get enough repeatability out of the test, then take the average. But you can see Mobil, Delvac 1 and the Delo 400 did a great job. Rotella T6, they're full synthetic, not as good a performance there. So what that tells us is this: even if you're buying Rotella, a Shell product that's full synthetic, what you're getting is you're getting a market general package. You're not getting the best formula out there for your money. And so that's really when we talk about these tests, what do they mean to the customer is, it's really giving you an idea of how the products were formulated and what are you actually getting. So let me put it in layman's terms. If I'm a customer, right, and I go out and I want to buy a car, okay, am I expecting to pay the same amount of money for a Hyundai as I am a BMW? So if you showed up at the Hyundai place, would you, or a Kia place or a Toyota, would you expect to pay the same amount of money that you would go to pay for a BMW or a Mercedes? No, you wouldn't do that, right? So the same thing here. That's all this is identifying is what are you getting for what you're paying for? And what kind of formulation are you seeing? Are you getting just a general market package that's barely passed most of the tests? Or are you getting a package that's going to help you last a lot longer and going to do a better job in your equipment? And that's really what this is showcasing. It's not saying these other competitor products are bad. We're not saying that. We're just saying that they're formulated differently. You may not be getting everything that you think. So when a customer, or when we come in and we talk about, as an API, a lot of times people will come in and say, hey, I got an API CI4 product. I meet all these OEM specs. That's great, but the reality is how you formulate. So you may be getting a kind of a barely passing those tests, or you may be getting one that's giving you a lot of potential extra protection. And then what we can do is we take this bar chart and just make it in a 3D. So you can see this, and all we do is turn it into a 3D image. And this gives you a better perspective of kind of what the wear scar looks like on that from a 3D perspective. So right-hand side, obviously a lot of wear. The left-hand side, less wear. Okay? And that's the Mobil one. Okay, so when we talk about our Delo 400 multi-grade CI4 Plus, it's got a significant number of approvals. So it's pretty well covered on most of the approvals that are out there today. We just recently got a new Deutz approval on it, so it's got pretty much everything you need to run, particularly in your equipment. And then finally, the wear test. So we had discussed this on the synthetic one. Again, we are mixing in 4% fuel soot here. It's about 195 degrees C on this test. Again, Delo 400 doing a very good job, formulated with good wear package. Okay, but look at everything else. So Shell, if you remember, Shell Rimula R4 did good on the oxidation test. It was near, somewhere between the top 3 usually with us, right? But look at their wear performance. So what that tells me is they're basically focusing on oil oxidation, but on wear performance, they're kind of giving you a market general type of package. Okay, so if you really want to extend life on extended drains, or if you were looking at for better engine life durability, you may have some troubles with the Rimula product. Okay, and even Delvac MX, look at it. Again, market general type of package. Okay, So this just gives you an idea of how things are formulated out in the marketplace, okay? And again, this is just the wear scar data that I'd said before put into 3D. And this just kind of gives you a look at a couple of the products.